Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishadaginamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namosute Taptakanjana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataruvascha Sindhube Evacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamini Vinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hi Krishna everyone. So let's go to chapter 14, that is the three modes of material nature. So put in the chat, what are the three modes, you know? What are the three modes of material nature? Yes? Yes. Good. Sattva, Rajas, Tamaguna, right? Yes. That is goodness, passion, and ignorance. Which is the mode which is above the three modes? Okay, this I want to hear. Unmute and say, which is the mode which is above the three modes? Which mode is above the three modes?
Shuddha Sattva Gun.
Very good. Shuddha Sattva Gun, or it's also called Vasudeva platform. Okay, Shuddha Sattva Gun or pure goodness. That's where when Shuddha Sattva or pure goodness, not only goodness. Sattva, Rajas, Tamaguna is goodness, passion, ignorance, and Shuddha Sattva Gun is pure goodness, or it's above the three modes. That is Vasudeva mode. That means that is where we get Krishna, and Krishna is called transcendental, right? It's above the three modes. Amrita Mataji, can you see the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, good. So, all go to Shri Radha Govinda. Okay, so in chapter 14, we have different sections. You can see the first 4 slokas is about liberation and conditioning of the living entity. Later on, he describes the binding of the pure souls by the three modes. What are we called since we are bound by the three modes? Anybody knows? What are we conditioned souls called as? Because they are bound by the three modes. We are called? We are in the, like puppets in their hands, right? So, no, Purusha is Krishna. Purusha is the enjoyer. Purusha means enjoyer. And Bhoktaram Yatnya Tabasam Sarvaloka Mahesharam. Krishna is the Purushottama or Purusha. But then, because we are bound by the three modes, we are called Nitya Bhaddas. Nitya Baddha means Bandhana means tying, right? Tied up. We've been tied. Yes, we are Jivas, but the Jivas or the spirit soul is Nitya Baddhas, means eternally we are bonded by the three modes of material nature. No, not eternally in the material world, but once we become liberated, when we become we liberated, or we muktas, Nitya Muktas, we don't become Baddhas. So someone who's tied up, can we remove our rope by ourselves? No. Can we remove others' ropes? No. But somebody who's free should come and remove our rope. So we've been tied by our karma. We are tied by the three modes of material nature. The spiritual master, who's a representative of Krishna, comes and removes the bond. Then we get liberated. Okay. Then recognizing the supremacy of a mode within a person. So every one of us has been influenced by the three modes all throughout the day, but one mode dominates others. Like now, for example, you all have come for Bhagavad Gita class. So you're in Sattvagun, because only if you're in Sattvagun can you be coming to know something about the spiritual life. If you're in Rajogun, you would be watching TV. Or if you're in Tamagun, you'd be sleeping. So now Sattaguna is prominating. And as the class go on, some will go to Tamaguna. They'll start sleeping. So the gunas will keep acting on us. But when our lifestyle and our sadhana, everything decides which mode dominates on us. Okay. So we should know supremacy of a mode within us, actions and death within the modes, and transcending the modes. How do we cross these three modes? That's very important. So the Blessed Lord said, again, I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. Okay, these are the Nava Yogindras, the 9 sages who is coming to Nimi Maharaj to give him transcendental knowledge. So all the sages, all the great devotees have become liberated just by knowing about Lord. Okay, about the 3 modes. So 3 modes belong to which Shakti of Krishna? Which Shakti or which energy of the Lord? The 3 material modes.
External energy.
Very good. So external energy, is also called as what?
Bahiranga Shakti.
Bahiranga Shakti or
Durga Shakti.
Durga, or she's what? Maya.
Mahaya.
Very good. She's Mahamaya. Okay, that's the external energy of the Lord. So the Lord have 3 energies, yet material energy. She has the Lord has internal energy, Antaranga Shakti, that's flesh and potency. Then you have the Tadastha Shakti, marginal energy, that's the Jivas, and external energy of Bahiranga Shakti, or the Durga Devi is the Mahamaya, who is controlling the material nature, which is the 3 modes of material nature. Okay, so who gives us the body? This human, the body. Who gives this body to us? How do we get a body? Or who gives it? Who sanctions it? Yes, Deval Mataji?
Prakriti, material energy.
Material nature gives the body, but who sanctions it? She can't sanction.
Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
The Lord. Okay, the Lord gives it according to our karma. Karmana Devanetrena. So according to the karma, Krishna decides. He's Aham Bija Pradapita. He decides which soul has to get which body, but the material nature gives it. Okay, she's our mother. Material nature is compared to the mother, and Krishna is the father of the living entity. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. So you can see this is Vaikunta. Okay, so you can see all of them have the 400 form, right? So what mukti is this? What type of liberation is this? They have the same form as Vishnu, the 400 form. Okay, Taki Mataji?
Sarupa Mukti.
Yeah. Sarupya. Rupa means form. Okay, so yeah, Sarupya
Yes.
Mukti. Now, why does Krishna say that once you know this nature, then one is not born at the time of creation, not disturbed at the time of dissolution? What does this sentence mean? Can someone throw some light on it? What do you mean by we are not born at the time of creation? We are not destroyed at the time of annihilation. What is Krishna referring here as?
We are eternal souls.
Very
The
good.
soul?
So, yeah, the eternal souls, the soul doesn't take birth or death, right? Na jayate mriyate va kadashin nayam bhutva pavitava na bhuya ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranam nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So the living entities, I mean, we take birth, we take material body, but then the soul is eternal. The soul doesn't take birth or death. And like a dress, vasam sujirnani yada vihaya. You know the sloka, Amrita?
Yes, Mataji.
Sing.
Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grinhati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi.
Yes, very good. So what does that mean? That as we change dress garments, old garments to new garments, similarly, the soul takes up a new body, giving up old body, right? So this is what Krishna meant, that we are not born at the time of creation because we are eternal, we are Satchidananda, right? So we don't have to take birth. We just transmigrate from one body to another. So this is the Durga Devi. Can you see? Who else saw this form? Does anyone know? Remember? In Krishna Leela, where does this Durga Devi appear?
Manthan. During the Manthan.
Yeah, that is there. That is true. That is Kurma Avatar. I'm asking Krishna Leela.
Okay.
You're right. So in Samudra Mantana, the churning of milk ocean. Yeah, Lakshmi Priya Mataji got it right. Who is that? Yes, okay. So she is Durga Devi. She showed this form to Kamsa. Remember the 8th son, when the 8th son was born as Krishna, then Vasudeva took him to Gokul and took the daughter of Yashodamaya and came back. No, Durga Devi was not born to Devaki. Durga Mata was born to Yashodamaya. Okay, and he took and came and then exchanged the baby. So when Kamsa was about to kill the eighth child, the child went into the air and flew up and became this 800 form of Durga. And so that's there also in Krishna Leela we can see. Okay, so we have to understand this chapter that to attain liberation, we have to know the transcendental nature of Krishna, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. So by knowing about Krishna, we'll go back to Krishna. Here's Amrita chant.
मम योनिर्महद्ब्रह्मा तस्मिन् गर्भं ददान्यहं सम्भावः सर्वभूतानां ततो भावति भारत.
The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. So Krishna, how does Krishna do creation? How does the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, the Kshirodakshay Vishnu? It's Kshirodakshay Vishnu and Karanodakshay Vishnu. There are three Vishnus, right? Garbhodakshay Vishnu is the one who is, you can see, lying on Garbhodaksha ocean, and from his navel the Brahma comes and different planetary system. Brahma is the secondary creator. Now, how is the creation happening? Did anyone read first canto of Bhagavatam and all? Or how does Krishna create, and how is it the living entities are created? Or we are eternal, but then how is the living entities coming into material nature? How does the universe come?
So can I just try another thing?
Yes.
So from Krishna expands the Purusha Avatara, that is the Mahavishnu,
Yes.
Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and
Yes.
Kshirodakshay Vishnu. From Mahavishnu comes, from his pores comes unlimited universes, and in each universe comes Garbhodakshay Vishnu. From Garbhodakshay Vishnu, his navel comes Brahma. And from Garbhodakshay Vishnu comes Kshirodakshay Vishnu, who is the super soul in every living entities.
Yeah.
Each of his creations.
What about Karnadakshay Vishnu? It's Karnadakshay Vishnus whose pose the different universes coming. Okay. So yes, you're right. Garbhodakshay Vishnu is the from whose navel all the planets are formed and Brahma is on top. Then Kshirodakshay Vishnu, as you said, is the Paramatma in everyone's heart. And Karanodakshay Vishnu is the cause. And you can see Karanodakshay Vishnu just lying on that ocean. And there's no Ananda Shesh at that time. And from his pose, as Mataji said, the universes comes. It's also said Krishna just glance into the material nature and the living entities come. Just glance. You just have to look and then creation happens. Just imagine. Or he is just in Yoga Nidra and the universes are coming, the planets are coming. So that's the creation of the Lord. Yes, Amrita.
सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति यः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिर् अहं बीजः प्रदः पिता.
This is a very important sloka. Krishna says, Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. He's there in everyone's heart, right? And Aham Bija Pradapida. He is the seed-giving father. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in the material nature. That Krishna is a seed-giving father. Aham Bija Pradapita. Okay, Gajendra also says, Purushaya, the Bijaya. So Krishna is the Bija, the seed-giving father. So when you trace back your fathers, we don't know how the creation actually happened. Time immemorial, only Krishna knows. But then when you go back, definitely it reached back to Krishna. Krishna is our the mother and father in this life. That's a material who gave this material body. We should be grateful to them. Because of them, we got this human form of life, right? But eternally, we should be in gratitude to Krishna, who is coming in every life along with us as Paramatma in our heart. And Krishna says he is a seed-giving father. If he is a seed-giving father, we all living entities are brothers and sisters, right? Everyone is Vasudeva Kudumbagam. Everyone is to be lived together. So this is what I was talking about, as Mataji was saying. This is Karnodakshay Vishnu. Karnodakshay Vishnu, you can see this is a part of a Goloka chart. There is no Ananta Shesh here. And from his pose, you can see these yellow things. These are the universes. And it's a form of an egg, Anda. Okay, Jagadanda Koti. There are thousands and millions of universes. The scientists cannot prove, but then Shastra proves it. Shastra cannot be wrong. When you go to the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, after 2 years, it's coming up in Mayapur, you see the whole 14 planetary system. It's amazing to see the work is going on. And it explains how this universe is. So this is one of the universe. Our universe is one mustard seed in a bag of mustard seeds. Just imagine how insignificant we are, right? So there is Durga Devi. She is in charge of the material nature. So Krishna, how does the soul come into the material world and is placed within the modes of material nature? Karanam guna sankasya. How we associate. If you associate with tamoguna, we'll be born in an animal kingdom, hellish planets. If you associate with sattoguna, then you get human form of life and all that. So material nature is the mother who's supplying the living entity with the body. So material nature supplies. No audio? Amrita Mataji, can't hear me?
Can hear Mataji, we can hear you Mataji.
Yeah, Gita Mataji, please check your audio settings, or might be you have network issue. Please try to rejoin. There is audio, Mataji. Oh, she won't be able to hear me. I have to put a chat. Okay. Maybe network issue. The Lord puts him there by his potent glance and thus impregnates the material nature with the seed. He just looks the material nature and then the material body of our body is created. We can't choose our body, right? All of you, can we choose? If we would have chosen our body, we all would have become Miss World, Miss Universe. I mean, we'll select the best bodies and how I look and everything. No, the whole world is running behind this cosmetic things and everything nowadays. So no, we can't select our looks. We can't select our parents. We can't select the day we are born. Nothing. Everything is in Krishna's hand and the material nature's hand. But the Lord can choose. I mean, he can do it. So how does we get binded by the three modes of material nature? Yes, Mataji.
Sattvam rajastamaiti guna prakriti sambhavaha nibadnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam.
The material nature consists of the three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned by these three modes. That's why we are called conditioned soul. So you can see here, we can't see them, but then they are acting on us. Like some days, how many of you had felt, you can raise a digital hand sincerely. How many of you have felt like some Sundays or holidays, you feel like sleeping more? How many of you have ever snoozed your mobile phone's alarm? I have done so many times. Right? So that means at that time, which mode is dominating on us? Put in the chat. When we snooze the mobile, when we are lazy to take bath, when you feel like sleeping again and again under your blanket, which mode? Tamoguna, right? So that time tamoguna or ignorance is predominating on us. And how many of you have gone to a shopping mall and don't know which shop to enter and feel like buying everything what you see? Oh, you want nice gadgets, you want that, you want this, dresses, that, this, and you keep going somewhere and all. A new restaurant is open, let me go. Yeah, that's Rajagun. That's Rajagun acting on us most of the time, right? We do that. That's Rajagun acting on us. And when we take our chanting beats and sit and chant and hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, do the sadhana, that's when Sattva is dominating on us. So in the material nature, in Brahma Muhurta time, it said that from morning 2:30 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. Till 8:30, that's a pure Sattva in the nature. In nature itself, Sattva is predominating. That's why we say that all the spiritual things should be done in the early morning. When you do it, I have tried so many times. If at all I am a little busy and I couldn't chant in the early morning, then my rounds are very tough to finish. I can't finish the rounds. It's like slow and very slow, because during the other days of the day time, it is Rajogun and Tamogun dominating. We can't sit and chant. But the day when you get up early and do it in Sattva mode, Sattva time, then your chanting is so nice. You come to Mangalarati. I have to appreciate Aishi here in this class, whether she's there. Or she's not there. Okay, yeah, she's there. Okay, she comes every day to Mangalarati, every day without fail, and she attends Mangalarati and she sits for chanting. I mean, I have to really appreciate what she did. She is doing. It's very difficult. It's very difficult every day getting up at 4:30, attending Mangalarati, but every day she comes. That's like a plus point in her sadhana life. Okay, because that habit of getting up early in the morning and then sitting and chanting your rounds, it's very nice for your spiritual growth. Why it is nice? Because naturally in the nature, Sattva is dominating. So naturally it will infect us, influence us. But on the other part of the day, 8:30 to around 2:33 p.m. in the afternoon, that's Rajoguna. Everybody is working. There is no passion in the nature. And in the evening times and night, it's always Tamoguna dominating. Okay, like 8:30 to night, 6 o'clock, evening 6 o'clock. But after that, again, Tamoguna. That's why we become sleepy, right? So these three natures are always acting on us like we are puppets in their hand. But one person will pull you more. That is where your life goes. So we can decide when we associate with devotees, when we do nice sadhana, spiritual life, then our Sattvagun becomes strong. And once you reach Sattvagun, then you can definitely reach Shuddha Sattvagun, go back to Krishna. Unless we are in Shuddha Sattvagun, we can't go back to Krishna. So all the three modes are acting on all of us. True. But we can decide which can dominate us. So why the living entity is conditioned means controlled, because we are bound by the three modes. So the living entity is eternal, which is, they are actually transcendental, Satchidananda. But since we are born in the material nature, we get bound by the three modes. So comes in contact with the material nature consisting of the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and then we become conditioned by it. So conditioned by the modes, and the living entity is forced to act according to the three modes. Sometimes we get angry, we shout at our friends or family, and then we realize, oh, what did I do? Now, most of us done that. We become angry, we say some things, and after some time we'll be like, become cool, and like, why did I do it? I mean, I should not have done it. Or you hear some news that somebody have stabbed someone or killed someone, and like, how did that person do it? That's because the Rajoguna and Tamoguna is acting on them, and they can't control. Unless you practice devotional service, it's tough to control, because the eternal living entity is Satchidananda. What is the meaning of Sat, Chit, and Ananda? Sat means what? Krishna is
Eternal.
Chit.
Chit is knowledge, full of knowledge.
Yeah,
Ananda.
Ananda. Bliss. So Krishna is Satchidananda, right? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, right? So Krishna is Satchidananda. Since we are part and parcel of Krishna, Mame Vamsha Jivaloke Jiva Buddha Sanadana. Since we are part and parcel of Krishna, we are also Satchidananda. A part of gold is also gold, right? So spark of fire and fire have heat. So similarly, we are part of Krishna, so we are also Satchidananda. But since we are tying up in this material nature, we get different bodies. Why is we getting different bodies, or why is birth happening? What is the real cause of our taking Janma, Punarjanma? Yes, Amrita Mataji?
Maybe our past karmas.
Past karma, that's all there. But what is the root cause? Neha Mataji?
I also said past karma, Mataji.
Okay, past karma, fine. But little more detail, a little more deep.
Because of our desires, which
Yes,
we have fulfilled in our living.
Unfulfilled desire. Very nice. Unfulfilled desire. Next chapter, in 15th chapter, we see the material world is compared to an inverted banyan tree, right? Urdha Mula Madashagam. So the banyan tree, what is the root? Desires. So unfulfilled desire. Like, just imagine I'm going to leave my body, and my soul is thinking, I want to do that. I want to taste an ice cream. Because of that one unfulfilled desire, I can take Punarjanma. It's so complicated. So how can we have, we all have desires. Only a stone cannot have desires. So Prabhupada says, purify your desire. Be Krishna conscious all the time, so that all the material desire stays there and spiritual things come up. So you remember Krishna at the end and can go back. So unfulfilled desires are the root cause for our Punarjanma. Okay, but slowly, as we go into devotional service, then the desires get purified. You can have sincere desire to serve Krishna, sincere desire to chant, and sincere desire to do spiritual life. That is good. But material desires will bind us in this world. Yes, Mataji. Now we'll see about Sattvagun.
तत्र सत्त्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकमनामयं सुखसङ्गेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसङ्गेन चानघ.
O sinless one, the mode of goodness being purer than others is eliminating, and it frees one from all sinful reaction. Those situated in that mode develop knowledge, but they become conditioned by the concept of happiness. Even goodness get conditioned by happiness. Okay, this was one of our questions. I hope everyone is doing the quiz so that you get the certificate. And all of you, please increase your chanting to 4 rounds. If you want to go to level 3, you have to do 4 rounds. Okay. Some of you are already doing. So the Sattva is good. It's eliminating and frees from sinful reaction, but it still binds us with happiness. Okay, happiness and knowledge. So happiness and knowledge will bind us to Sattva Guna. Yes, Madaji.
रजोरागात्मकं विद्धि तृष्णसङ्गासमुद्भवं तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनम्.
The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, one is bound to material fruitive activities. You know, we want more, we want more. That's the nature of desires or material life. Now, if I get a phone, I want a more bigger phone. I want a car, I want a bigger car. So that desires will keep happening. And then what happens? Because of that unlimited desire, that is passion or rajoguna, we get bound in this material nature. We take rebirth again and again and again. So based on that desire, Krishna is a sweet friend. Now you have desire. If your friend says, I want an ice cream, you get the ice cream, no? If you like that friend. So similarly, when we have some desires, Krishna will fulfill it. So Krishna will give a next life, Janma, to fulfill that desire to us. But Janma is again problem. What about Tamogun? Samrita.
तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत.
O son of Bharata, the mode of ignorance causes delusion of all living entities. The result of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which binds a conditioned soul. So when we are in tamogun or ignorance, there is madness, indolence, and sleep. There is laziness. Now all that happens because of tamoguna dominating on us. So the three modes are there. So definitely Sattvagun is better than the two, but still more than that is Shuddha Sattvagun. So Sattvagun is eliminating, free from sinful reactions, and those who are in that mode gets bound by happiness and knowledge. Okay, so goodness also is conditioning. So how does the goodness bind the living entity? By knowledge and happiness. Then what about, okay, what are the examples for goodness? Like scientists, philosophers, and poets. Okay, there is no sinful reactions, but then there is no liberation also because they got bind here. What are the representatives of type of goodness? Brahmana representing the mode of goodness. And how the three types of conditioned living entities act. In goodness, they are happy. In passion, they'll be so active. Ignorance, they are helpless. So Brahmanas are in mode of goodness. What about Kshatriya? Can put in the chat. Kshatriyas, in which mode? Predominantly. For a Kshatriya. Yeah, passion, mostly passion. Okay, because they have to do, they are a karma and they are so passionate. Okay, what about Vaishyas? Vaishyas is mixed actually. Vaishyas is passion and ignorance. No. Brahmanas are Sattvagun. Kshatriyas are Rajagun. Vaishyas is Rajogun and Tamogun mixed. Yes, Rajas and Tamas. And what about Shudras? Tamogun. Okay. So we should know how the three modes are acting on them. So the passion also, it's conducting, it binds the living entity with the fruitive results, right? And what advancement in the modern civilization is considered in the mode of passion? What are some products of mode of passion? They'll be hungering for material enjoyment, right? They want more happiness, they want more desires, unlimited desires. And what happens to them? There's no liberation because they take Punarjanma again and again because they have a lot of desires, right? So this is the characteristics of passion. So passion binds us by the rope of desires. And there is attachment, there is strong attraction between man and women, and there is so much of desires. The whole world is running under Rajogun. Like wherever you go, you see people in Rajogun more. So ignorance also, ignorance binds us. It causes delusion, and there is sleep and indolence. And also, what are the characteristics of it? There is ignorance, just the opposite of goodness. Okay, there is ignorance in it, and so what happens? Even they are not getting liberated because they are in ignorance. They go down. Okay, so there is madness, laziness, and sometimes 6 hours is sufficient for our sleep. You should not. Children can sleep up to 8 hours, but for 6 hours for adults, it's the best sleep. And if one sleeps 10 to 12 hours per day, that is like kind of tamogud or ignorance, and it makes us lazy. The day we get up early morning, early to bed, early to rise, when you do that, you feel really healthy. And you can take a nap, might be in the afternoon or something. So about Sattvagun, how is the mode conditioned by? Yes, Amrita.
Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata jnanamavritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta.
So, son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditioned ones to happiness, passion to fruitive action, and ignorance is bind to madness. So those who die in the mode of goodness go to which planet? Or where does they go after death?
Heavenly planets.
Yeah, they go to heavenly planets and they live with the demigods. What about Rajogun?
Earthly.
Yeah, they take birth in the earth itself because they have a lot of desires. And Tamogun?
Narak Lok.
Yeah, hellish planets or animal kingdom. They can either go to hellish planets or animal kingdom. So one who leaves the body in Shuddha Sattvagun will go back to Krishna because they are pure. So now we'll see how the supremacy of a mode is there within a person. Sometimes the mode of goodness become prominent, defeating the mode of passion and ignorance. That's what I tell when you come for Bhagavad Gita class, when you decide to sit and chant. You know, when you get up in the morning, your mind will say, it's a nice climate, just sleep. It's okay if you don't chant now. Or one day you can skip, or you chant in the evening, morning, who will do it? Just sleep. That is your mind playing, tricking you to Tamogod. Instead, you should try to regulate it and control the mind and try to get up. And that time, your goodness or mode of goodness is predominating. O son of Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance. On the daytime, we have a lot of desires, and that time Rajoguna acts on us more. And at the other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Like there is always a competition. Now, so if you want to be in Sattvagun always, then you need to have really good sadhana and a good association. Then only can you defeat it. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of body are eliminated by knowledge. How does this is not material knowledge, ABCD, this is spiritual knowledge. So when you have spiritual knowledge, when you understand your spirit soul, and my real goal is to go back to Krishna, to end up the cycle of birth and death, then you automatically become serious in spiritual life, and then mode of goodness will start working on us. And what about Rajogun? There's more and more of desires. O chief of Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, when there is great attachment for things, uncontrollable desire, hankering, and intense endeavor to develop. Atyahara prayasya prajalpani amagraha. Upadeshamrita says, Atyahara, eating too much, endeavoring too much, collecting too much, all this will create a lot of problems, right? So many people have heart attacks, and many people have these hypertensions and all these problems because of what? Because of over endeavoring and over working and desiring for things. If you have limited desires, then you don't have to struggle so much. You'll be always peaceful in life, right? We get what we deserve, not what we desire, right? Based on our karma, we get things. So we should be able to accept life as it comes. Then we can remain peaceful all the time. And Krishna then says, O son of Kuru, when there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, madness, illusion, inertia, and darkness are manifested. Okay, so you can see they'll be addicted to drugs and all. And even online gaming is kind of a tamoguda acting. Nowadays, kids are so much into this because of the Zoom and online classes. Every kid has a gadget at home now. Everyone has. In fact, they know better than us. But then we should be very careful while giving it alone to them. We should always check them. So what happens at the time of death? To one predominated by a specific mode, we go to that particular planet. Results of action by one predominated by a specific mode, we'll see. So when one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to pure higher planets of the great sages. Someone knows who this is? Who is advising what? Who is advising transcendental knowledge to whom? Who's these? This is from Bhagavad.
Suta Goswami to sages.
No. He has a veena.
Oh, Narada Muni.
Yeah. Narada Muni is advising the sons of Daksha. Okay. So Daksha had some 10,000 sons, and Narada Muni advised them, give transcendental knowledge to them. So that's what's happening here. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities, that is in the earth itself. And when dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in an animal kingdom. You can see some animals go for that herbivorous. They go for hibernation, right? Hibernation. That means they go sleep for like 6 months and all. Somebody always sleeping, definitely we'll get an animal form next. Someone becoming naked in the public, or someone, doing exhibiting all that, they become trees. Why, this is given in Garuda Puran. It's not a joke. It's given in Garuda Puran. Why does they become trees? What is a comparison?
Trees
Because
do
trees don't
not
have
wear
clothes.
clothes.
Yeah, trees doesn't have a cloth, and also these barks of the trees, they shed it, every time they start shedding it. So it's like they're removing the clothes. And any example from the Shastras that who became trees? Two of them became trees.
Nalakuvera and Manigriva.
Very good. So that's a Damodar Leela associated with Damodar Leela, that when Krishna was bound with the ropes, next week I'll explain, that Krishna with the motor, he went between two trees called the Yamalarjuna trees in the courtyard of Nanda Baba. And those trees were Nalakuvera and Manigriva, two sons of Kuvera, the richest person. And they actually was taking bath naked in a pond when Narad Muni went that side, and Narad Muni cursed them to become trees in next life. But they got a blessing also that Krishna himself will come and deliver you. So they got moksha also. Krishna uprooted those two trees. But this is what happens, So we should be very careful what we do. It's because next life, this life decides our next life. So if next life we want to be a better person, or get liberation, or have a nice life, then definitely we should live this human form of life in the best way. If we live like an animal, ahara nidra bhayamaidunam cha, eating, mating, sleeping, defending like animals, then we'll definitely get an animal body. Right? Prabhupada says this human form is not a guarantee that you'll get a human form next. We can go down, we can fall down. So we should be very careful. And definitely if you take to Krishna consciousness, human life is guaranteed. But still, better to get liberation and go back. Yes, Amrita.
कर्मणस्तु कृतस्याहुः सात्विकं निर्मलं फलं रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम् अज्ञानं तमसः फलम्.
By acting in the mode of goodness, one becomes purified. Works done in the mode of passion results in distress, and actions performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. Okay, what is first picture indicating? Put in the chat. Chat. Which mode is this? Which mode is, can you see here? Definitely, right? Sattva goodness. It looked like a temple or something. What about the second picture? Here you can see big buildings, skyscraper buildings, Rajagun. And what about the third picture? Why do you say it's Tamagun? Third picture. It's so funny. I really wonder who did this. You can see how it's a staircase. The staircase is supposed to be like taking us to the top floors, and he have just closed it. Nobody can enter. We have to jump over. So yeah, it's like a dead end. You take a U-turn. That's what GPS will say. So this is like Shuddha Tamogun. You can say Shuddha Tamogun, or somebody who is in such a Tamoguna, or might be drunk at work or something, or not in a normal sense, who did that. So definitely, so from the mode of goodness, the real knowledge develops, and from the mode of passion, greed develops, and from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. So the same person can have different modes. Same guna can act on all of us at different timings. One time we can be in Sattaguna, we do nice things. The other same day we can be Rajaguna, same day we can be in Tamoguna. So different modes act on us, and from the mode of goodness, real knowledge will develop. So what is the results of action in the modes? In goodness, there is real knowledge develops, and Krishna consciousness will help the society to develop in goodness. That's why Prabhupada gives these rules. Get up early morning, try to chant your rounds, and try to have a sattvic food. We'll see in the later chapters, food in Sattvagun, how is the food in Sattvagun that will purify our existence. Then about passion, greed develops, and there is a lot of greedy and hungering things for sense gratification. But when we hunger, what happens? When we buy more and more things, there is more problems. Along with that happiness, which is temporary, there are problems also coming in Rajagun. And for ignorance, there is illusion, madness, and foolishness. No knowledge, right? There is intoxication. Yes, Amrita.
ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जघन्या गुणवृत्तिस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः.
Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to a higher planetary system. So because they are in goodness, they definitely go to higher planetary system. Those in mode of passion lives on earthly. They come to the earth planet, and those in the mode of ignorance, they go to hellish planets. Now, is going to heavenly planets, is it good or not? Why?
No.
Why?
Because again,
Because
there's again rebirth.
There's again rebirth. Very nice. Abrahma bhuvanarlo ga punar avartino orjuna mamupeti tu kaundeya punar janmana vidyate. So there is rebirth. Even if you go to the highest planet of this material world called Brahmaloka, even then there is rebirth. And heavenly planets, it's not safe there. Like once you take up the flight, it has to land somewhere. It can't stay for some time, for a long time in the air, right? Unless the fuel gets over. So we should be careful not to go to even heavenly planets. We should go beyond it to the spiritual world. Yeah, some people say we have to go to heaven. They pray also to go to heaven. Actually, that concept is a little bit wrong, because heaven, if you go, they don't know that there is rebirth, right? Even Brahma have said to Hiranyakashipu that even I die, and he is not immortal. So definitely, only if you go to the spiritual world, there is no punarjanma. Now I'll put a tricky question. You know the story of Durvasa Muni? When Ambarish Maharaj was cursed by Durvasa Muni, the Sudarshan Chakra came behind. Where did Ambarish Maharaj go? Durvasa Muni go to get saved from the Sudarshan?
To Brahma first, and then finally came to
Then Shiva, then to?
Vishnu. Krishna.
Yeah, if Durvasa Muni had to see Vishnu, he went to Vaikunta, right? But how did Durvasa Muni come back? Why did he come back? Krishna says, once you come into my planet, no more coming back. But how did Durvasa Muni come back? Why did he come back?
Because Vishnu told him that you have to seek forgiveness from the person.
Yeah, that's a nice answer. Yes, that is good. That is good. But again, he had to go back. No, he could have gone back, no, to Vaikunta, but he didn't. He asked forgiveness, and then he could have gone back because he reached Vaikunta. Reaching Vaikunta is not easy, but he could not enter. The four Kumaras went to the door, and Jaya Vijaya cursed the four Kumaras. But the four Kumaras were not able to enter Vaikunta. They had to come back. Why? Okay, keep
Without
thinking.
Lord's
Can I
mercy,
try, Mataji?
Huh?
without Lord's mercy, you cannot enter.
Yeah, that is also true. But there's one more thing.
But there was, I think there was, I'm not sure, but there was anger acting that time. I'm not
That's
sure.
transcendental. That's transcendental anger. That's okay. That is not normal anger that happened to four Kumaras. Okay, keep thinking and remind me. I'll discuss it at the end of the class. Just keep thinking why it happened. Why did they come down? Okay. Okay, so transcending the three modes. How do you cross these three modes? When you see that there is nothing beyond the three modes of nature in all activities, that the Supreme Lord is transcendental to all these three modes, then you can know my spiritual nature. Then only can we know Krishna, because he is Shuddha Sattvagun. He is in Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. Vasudeva is in Shuddha Sattvagun. So we have to transcend the three modes. That's why Krishna is called transcendental. Transcendental means crossing above the three modes. He controls the three modes. We have been controlled by the three modes. Okay. So platform of real knowledge is what? That the three modes perform all material activities. It is not us who's acting. We desire, Krishna sanctions, and the three modes of material nature carries it out. So we are not actually the doer. There are three doers. One is the soul, one is the Paramatma, one is the material nature. The Supreme Lord is transcendental to the three modes, and he controls the three modes. And how can one transcend? We can transcend by understanding this Krishna consciousness science from realized souls. And who's the real spiritual master? Is Krishna. Akila Jagat Guru. He's the real Jagat Guru. So when Krishna is in a heart as Paramatma, when a soul becomes serious in spiritual life, Krishna, who's in a heart as Paramatma, Chaitya Guru, comes out as Guru. So that's a spiritual master, and then you get Diksha from them. When the embodied being is able to transcend the three modes, he can be free from birth, death, old age, and distress, and can enjoy the nectar even in this life. So pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada and all are already liberated. They are eternally liberated. Shukadeva Goswami was already liberated, right? Even though they were having material body. So liberation doesn't mean just coming out of your birth-death cycle, also means to be in your high consciousness, right? They are not, Prahlad Maharaj is already liberated. He's Nitya Mukta. He's not Nitya Baddha. He's Nitya Siddhas or Nitya Muktas. So Arjuna inquired, oh my dear Lord, but why symptoms But what symptoms is one to know who's transcendental to the three modes, and what is his behavior? How does he transcend the three modes? Now he's asking, how can a pure devotee be understood? How does we know that we have transcended the three modes? So Arjuna is asking, what is the symptoms of one who transcend the three modes, and symptoms of those who transcend the three modes, and also what is his behavior and how does he transcend the three modes? So this is the question which Arjuna put forward and Krishna is going to answer. So the Blessed Lord said, he who does not hate elimination, attachment, delusion when they are present, nor longs for them when they disappear, who seated like one unconcerned, being situated beyond these material reactions of modes of nature, who remain firm, knowing that the modes alone are active, who regards alike pleasure and pain, and looks on cloth and a stone or a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is wise, hold praise and blame to be same, who is unchanged in honor and dishonor, who treats friend and foe alike, who has abandoned all fruitive undertakings, such a man is said to have transcended the modes of nature, like Narad Muni. A pure devotee is transcending Uttama Adhikari above the three modes because he is very stable and he doesn't get influenced by the three modes. Yes, Amrita?
Yes, Mataji. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati yaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
So, but one who's engaged in full devotional service to Krishna, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcend the three modes of material nature, come to the level of Brahman. When you reach Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochati na Kamshati. Okay, like, so when you take up Krishna consciousness, you're associating with Krishna. You know, when you bring fire close to ice, the ice will melt, and ice or block also will feel like fire or hot. Or you bring a iron rod to fire, the iron rod will become red hot, that it behaves like fire. So when we associate with Krishna, we become Krishnatized. We also become pure. All the impurities will go, and we can transcend the three modes. We can cross the three modes. That's what Krishna says. So we should know Lord Krishna's answer the three questions. How do we do it? How to transcend the three modes? One who engages in full-time devotional service, like Srila Prabhupada. The devotees who came in contact with Srila Prabhupada were hippies. Just imagine, they used to eat whatever they get on the streets. They used to drink alcohol. They used to smoke. They used to have drugs and all kind of illicit practices. They were even not taking bath every day. I mean, such a horrible condition they were. But just by coming in association with Srila Prabhupada, just by listening to him, just by taking Krishna Prasad from him, they just became pure devotees. How did that happen? Right? You take the Krishna conscious movement in the beginning. How did Prabhupada influence the foreigners, the hippies? Just because he was a pure devotee and he could spread Krishna consciousness like anything. Because one who's engaged in devotional service, when you associate with them, we also get that qualities. So we should do devotional service without fail in all circumstances. Not like today I don't have mood to chant, I don't chant. No, every day you should do that. At once transcend the mode of material nature, thus come to the level of Brahman. So this is the real happiness. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Anandambudhi Vardhanam. You get real happiness and peace by transcending the three modes. Yes, Amrita.
Brahmano hi pratishthaham amritasya vyayasya cha sashvatasya cha dharmasya sukasya ikantikasya cha.
And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is the constitutional position of unlimited happiness and which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal. So the Brahman, Brahmajyoti, is coming from Lord's body itself, right? So Brahman is also, Krishna is the Brahmano hi pratishtanam. He is only the basis of it. I'll take the questions towards the end, okay? So we should know the devotional service is the safest process for us to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we understand that and start doing devotional service, we go back to Krishna. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is full in all the six opulences, right? What are the six opulences of the Lord? Krishna's Shadaishwarya. What are the six opulences? You can unmute.
All beauty, all fame, all richness,
All beauty, all fame,
all richness, all
all
knowledge,
richness, all
strength,
knowledge,
and all
yes.
Renunciation.
All renunciation. When you say knowledge, renunciation, no, all knowledge, all renunciation. You should use the word all, because Krishna is full in that. And when you realize the Brahman, then it is easy to realize Paramatma and Bhagavan. So what is the summary of this chapter? This living entity, although we are Brahman in nature, we have desire to load it over material nature. That means we have unlimited desire, and desire to enjoy makes us fall down. We come to this material world, which is like a jail, and we associate with the three modes, and based on that we get different bodies. Karanam Guna Sangha Asya, and devotional service will help us because it will crush all our sinful reactions, and it will elevate us to Shuddha Sattvagun. So this transcendental position is there, and we have to practice the 9 process of devotional service, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Then we reach the Brahma Bhuta stage. So that's the different stages how we can reach Krishna. So the chapter summary is, we learned how we are conditioned by the 3 modes, how we are binded by the 3 modes, and then how one mode dominates on us, and action and death. I mean, what happens after death when we are in a particular mode, and how we can transcend the 3 modes. So how can we transcend the 3 modes? By chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So yeah, did anyone get the answer? Why did the 4 Kumaras come back? Why did Durvasa Muni had to come back? They could not enter Vaikuntha forever. And it is said, once you go there, no more coming back. Why did they come back? No answer? Just try.
Some
Okay.
unfulfilled
What, Mataji?
desires were still not fulfilled.
Okay.
Some pastime which was not done.
4 Kumaras, no, they didn't have any desires as such. The reason is the 4 Kumaras were Brahmavadis. I mean, they used to meditate on the Brahma Jyoti. They were not real devotees. They were not concentrating on the form of the Lord. When they reached Vaikuntha, the doorkeepers Jaya Vijaya stopped them and they cursed them. But then they saw Vishnu. Vishnu came out to see what is happening, and they smelled the tulsi, the lotus feet of the Lord, and they became devotees. So it is to prove that the Brahmavadis, or those who meditate on the Brahman, can reach only to the door of Vaikuntha. They cannot enter Vaikuntha. Then they came back, they did devotional service and went back. Durvasa Muni is a Siddha. He could Anima, Legima, Mahima, becoming smaller than the smallest, lighter than the lightest. He could become lighter than the lightest and go to any planet what he wants. But he was not a devotee. Only if you're a devotee can you enter into Krishna's world. Till then, you can enter the courtyard, you can't enter the kingdom. So it is said only a devotee can enter. Only through bhakti can you, bhakti is the key to enter into Vaikuntha Goloka. But others, Siddhas and Brahmavadis and Mayavadis, nobody can enter Krishna's world except devotees. So that's the reason. Okay. Through effort, destiny can be changed. Yes, not our effort, by Krishna's mercy. Okay, that destiny, because when you become a devotee, Krishna will take charge of your future. It is said that devotees doesn't go to the astrologer and all. I mean, not much into it. They might go for muhurta and things like that to see things, but they don't ask many things and do parihara or something. I'll tell one thing. So they were devotees, they want to get married, a girl and a boy, and all the astrologers told them that they're not going to live together for long, and there's going to be a lot of issues. You have to do that, this karma, that karma, so many yajnas, and they rejected. But finally they want to be together, and they went to another senior devotee. The devotees just kept their kundalis or the horoscope to the side and said, promise me that every day both of you are going to get at early morning Brahma Muhurta and chant 16 rounds together, and after that every day read Srimad Bhagavatam together. So now they are living for 25 years happily as husband and wife, and they are continuing what they want. So they were doing like the chanting and the Bhagavatam reading. So when you become a devotee, they said that Krishna takes charge of you. Okay, so Krishna can change your destiny, but based on how much surrendered you are. Okay, based on that, Krishna will say. Yeah. Yes. So, so we have to do 3 times in the leg, 2 times in the navel, 4 times on the face, and 7 times altogether. That's how the Arati is done in Damodar photo. We can do it. Okay. So, any more questions? You can unmute and ask. Okay, so next week we'll have the class on Saturday, possible 8:30. We'll see how time can be managed. Might be Yeah, because evening won't be problem. It will be a problem. Okay, Hare Krishna. I think we can end here. No more questions. So try to associate with Krishna as much as you can. When you're chanting, just you should think that Krishna has come near you because you are associating with Krishna. Okay. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripasandope eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anand Kodi Vaishnavindi ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining.